Abby Johnson here. So if you've heard me talk, then you probably know that I'm a big fan of the saying, when you know better, you do better. And as I go around and give talks, I find that a lot of people just really do not have a good grasp of what abortion is, and even what abortion is in the first trimester. Now, we know that the overwhelming majority of abortions are committed in the first trimester. And so what I thought I would do today is actually show you the instrumentation that is used during a first trimester procedure. And so I'll just sort of start off here. When a woman is put on the table for an abortion, first of all, an abortion is a very quick procedure. It's pretty much been performed the same way since 1973. Abortion is not a procedure that has evolved over time. Aside from the medication abortion, the RU486 abortion, surgical abortion has been performed the same way for decades and decades. So they get a woman on the table, and one of the first things they're going to do is they're going to clamp this instrument. It's called a tenaculum. They're going to clamp this on her cervix. And this is going to help them stabilize her cervix during the actual abortion procedure. Now, if you look here, you can see that this is very, very pointy. So these are very, very sharp teeth. This goes through the skin. So this goes through the cervix as they are getting her prepared to actually insert metal dilation rods. And I have a pack of those here. And so I'll just sort of show you. This is probably one of the most uncomfortable parts of the abortion procedure itself. And so they're dilating the cervix unnaturally. So what would naturally happen during childbirth, they are forcing this to happen through these metal dilation rods. So they're graduated, and you can see that this side is smaller than this side. And this is the smallest dilation rod, but they get larger and larger and larger, and you can see that. So this one's larger than the one I just pulled out, and then they get larger and larger. This is the largest one in this particular case, but they get much larger than this. They can actually get about the size of my wrist. Those are called Hearn dilators. They are named after Dr. Warren Hearn. He is the only physician in the United States that will actually terminate a baby up until the due date. There's some Dr. Curtis Boyd, there's Dr. Leroy Carhart, Dr. Shelley Sella. They will perform abortions up until about 32 weeks, but Dr. Hearn is the only one that will actually terminate a baby up until the actual due date. And the dilators that they use for that procedure are actually named after him, Hearn dilators. These would be dilator sizes that they would use for about 12, 13 weeks. And they dilate the cervix to soften it and to make it pliable enough so that they can insert something called a cannula or suction curette. And that's what this is. So this is a hard piece of plastic. It's rigid. And this is what you can see, that there's an opening here on the end. It's like a straw. This is what's hooked up to the actual suction machine. And so they take this hard piece of plastic, and this is what they actually insert into the woman's uterus. And they will take this and they will blindly sort of poke around into the woman's uterus, and they'll take this and twirl it around like this. And then they'll keep poking in and out until they feel like they have enough blood and tissue suctioned through this tube and into a glass jar. This is actually a 12. This is a 12 millimeter curette. So this is what would be used for about a 12-week baby. They get bigger and smaller depending on how big the woman's pregnancy is, because it has to be big enough to suction the baby's head through it. That's the largest piece of the child. So this would be used for about a 12-week baby. After everything is suctioned into that tube, they're going to use this. This is called a curette. These come in various sizes, but this is a pretty typical size. This is very sharp on the end. So you can see it's circular on the end, and this is very sharp right here. And so this is what they take after the suction. They take this and they insert it into the woman's uterus, and they will take this and scrape the inside of her uterus. And they want to make sure that they have removed all of the any additional tissue. They take that and they scrape it like this inside of her uterus. And then they'll take this suction tube, they'll insert that back in, and they'll do a full pass around her uterus like this to make sure that they get any remaining blood and tissue out that was removed from the curette. After that, they will then remove this tenaculum out of her cervix, and that's it. This is an O-ring clamp, and they sometimes will use this for various things. To, if she's bleeding, they may use this to, if she's hemorrhaging, they may use this to pack gauze into her uterus or something like this. This is also very similar to a Soffer clamp. So the reason that I wanted to show you this is because you can see right here, there are ridges inside of this. These ridges are deep, and they're, it's just very deep teeth right here. This is very similar to a Soffer clamp. And the reason I wanted to show you this is because when you click this together like that, it will not come apart. See, it won't come apart. So when they're doing a second trimester abortion, this is a similar type of instrument that they use. So a second trimester baby, so 14, 15 weeks and above, is not going to fit through a suction tube like this. The baby is too big, and the baby is too well formed to fit through a suction tube. It won't come apart enough. It will not be dismembered to actually fit through a tube. So what they have to do is they take this type of O-ring clamp, or they take a Soffer clamp that looks just like this, except it's more of an oval. It's more oval shaped than, well, this is oval too, but it's even more oval shaped. It's longer. And they will take a clamp like this, and they will insert it into the womb, and they will find the baby's leg, or they will find the torso, or they will find an arm, and they will take this and they will clamp it down onto that baby's arm or leg, and they will then pull it out. And it will not let go. This will not let go, and it will rip that baby's body part off of them, and they will then extract it from the woman's uterus. And so that's why I wanted to show you what this looks like and how rigid these teeth are here on the ends. And you can even see sort of the ridges right here. And then in a second trimester abortion, then they will take, after all of those pieces have been removed, they will take then again these two instruments, a suction and a curette, and then scrape out and suction the remaining parts out of the woman's womb. So I wanted to demonstrate this to you because when you know better, you do better. And I think with abortion being in the media like it is today, we need to know exactly what abortion is. Not only do we need to know what happens to a woman's body during abortion, we need to know about all of these sharp instruments that are going into a woman's body. We need to know how dangerous abortion can be for women. All of these sharp tools, things like tenaculums and curettes and things going into a woman's body. This is why we have things like hemorrhage. This is why we have things like uterine perforation. But we need to know exactly what's taking place to these preborn children in the womb as well, because when you know better, you do better.